All right, 100 take. This is rosanamod podcast, and I'm not looking at myself, I'm looking at you, so you should feel special. Today, I wanted to talk to you about Shipt, and I have been a Shipt shopper for about 3 years on and off, and November, I left my full-time position to go full-time with Shipt, but I really haven't been able to really do it full-time with Shipt. I've other things, other issues. And so I'm trying to focus on doing it full-time now, and I have some tricks for you that I think you would appreciate. All right. So the first of all, get a pencil and a pen and paper, or you can just stop this, pause it, and then listen to it later as you do it, because I have a couple of tricks. I don't have them listed as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, so just pay attention. Okay. That's me. I can't. So the first thing I want to let you know is the notification sounds. You don't have to keep the notification sounds that Shipt offers on their app. Okay. I don't like the sounds that they have. So, certain sounds irritate me. So, what I do is I changed it. And if you need to know how to do it, that's going to be in a different video, but just go to settings and change your notification sounds. Go to settings on your phone if you have an Android, and then go to shopper app, or apps, shopper app. And then in the shopper app, you look at all of the different types of sounds that they have. And I silence all of them except for only a couple. And this is what I do. Let me see if I can show you real quick. Go to settings, go to notifications, go to app notifications, and then scroll to where you see shopper. And then in shopper, click on that. And then you're going to see notification categories. Just follow through with me. Then you're going to see all these. You're going to have all those, like bubbly spaceship. I don't even know what that is. So what I do is I focus on the chat replies, which is them talking to you, the customer talking to you, and I don't want to be distracted, so I don't want any pings, because the one thing I don't like about the Shipt app is when I'm already on an order and I'm dealing with an order, I keep getting notifications. It's very distracting because it keeps popping up in the screen, and I have to keep shushing it away, and I don't like that. There should be a way to, if you already have an order or you just started the order, maybe if it's not in the same store, just don't even give it to me, because I'm not going to have time. New chats, chat replies, those two I silence. That way I don't get any distractions. Message received notifications, again, I silence. Tip notifications, that one I've changed to this sound. Simple. So every time I hear that, I know I got tipped. I like to hear those sounds, so please. That's the best way. And then you have the TS location manager, which it lets you know when you've arrived. It'll also ping you. I got that on silent too. Bubbly spaceship notifications. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it is them letting you know that there's some news or something going on. I kind of leave that just in case there's something I need to know. Default notifications, I basically put on silent. No, I do. I put it on alert. This is my alert sound, by the way. This is Shipt. This is Shipt. It's just the way that I remember things. And then actions. Actions are when they send you the order. So I definitely have that on the retro synth, that's already on the phone. You could download your own. They have a ka-ching sound that's called, I think it's called cash register ringtone. And I used to have that, but this phone sucks, so whatever it's got. Well, anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to tell you. Change all of your sounds so that they don't all sound the same, and that every time you hear that sound, you'll know this is Shipt. It's an order. I got to go look at my phone, or I got a tip. Yay me. Okay. Another tip is I screenshot all of my orders as soon as I get them. So there's no discrepancy. There's going to be no problems if anything happens where the order number, something happened with the customer or whatever. So I take screenshots of the order that comes in that I take that has the order number on it, the name of the person in the store, and how much they're going to pay you. Take a screenshot of that. Then I click on the name of the person and it shows me the address of the customer. I screenshot that. I keep it because I want to know which customer tipped me and which one didn't and how much they tipped me. Because if I keep going to the same house, and I've done this before like 6-7 times, and they never tip me, I'm not going back to that house. I'm just not going to bother, because a lot of times, there's no point in that. So, it just shows you like the target, and it says suggested time start, pay estimated whatever, and then it gives you the order number and how much they spent. So basically how much they spent is based on the tip that you receive. Usually it's 18%. Sometimes I get a little more, sometimes I get about right, but average I get between 10 and 15. I'd say maybe 10 and 18% on an average for tipping on and I've had people that have spent $330 and never gave me anything. Shame on you for that. Really, just shame on you for that. So especially if I have to drive, please, start tipping your people. The average order is between $6 and $9, at least in my area. And that's for about 10 or more items. And sometimes you have to drive out to the beach. Sometimes you can't find parking downtown. That's a pain in the ass. I don't like going downtown, so I'll avoid those. So be my guest. Take it. Central Avenue, good luck. I just don't like going down there. There's no parking. And other times I've gone over the bridge, Bayside Bridge or Bayboro Bridge or whatever the hell you call it, and there's a toll. Oh, nobody told me. I only did that twice. So the next thing I wanted to tell you is, another tip is park your car as close to where the carts are, the target carts are, as you can. Just park as close as you can to that. It'll save you a lot of time. And try not to park in a place where you have to back out. See if you can put your nose front, so that way as soon as you put your stuff in the car, you just go out. I find it quicker to put my stuff in the back seat than the trunk also. I don't use the trunk very often unless it's something that's really huge that won't fit in my trunk, in my back seat. But usually I use it because if there are perishable items especially, you want to keep the car cool. And right now in summer, it's like 86, 90 degrees. It's hot in that car. It's going to take time for the air to go on and cool the stuff. You don't want somebody's milk or ice cream in the trunk of your car getting hot. So I'm really careful about that stuff. I like it, to treat the groceries like they were my own groceries. Don't smoke in the car, obviously. That's common sense. But I see people picking up orders and smoking, which is disgusting. Many times, never from Shipt, but from Instacart, I've gotten orders where they smell like cigarettes. I don't smoke. I don't need to be smelling, my egg cartons like cigarettes. It doesn't need to. I don't want that in my house, and I've told them, you can just take this shit right back, because I don't want that in my house. It smells. Nobody told you to smoke all over my damn groceries. Yeah, I'm a real jerk when it comes to being a customer. That's a terrible thing to admit, but it's the truth. Common sense. Treat your stuff like you were delivering it to your mother. Okay? All right. And I'm just assuming that your mother's a great person. All right. Don't be mean. Okay, so that's another tip. The next tip is, as soon as you go in, if you have a bundle, always take a basket in with your cart. You want to separate your stuff. Even if it's a bigger, even if you have like two big orders, like I try not to get bundles that are more than 20 items a piece. 40 is my max. I really try not to. I had a nightmare. I'll talk about it another time. I had a nightmare last week when I took something that was way too big, but what I do is I figured out that the very bottom of the cart in Target, you can fit like a giant case of beer, like 24 cans of beer, and 2 baskets full of stuff. So I'll put that down there. And depending on what the customer has, like if they have bread or something that can smash, you want to put those on the top, like inside the cart on the top, and everything else the other bundle could go on the very bottom of the cart. All right. Sounds crazy and simple, but you'd be surprised. You really don't look. When you're trying to figure out your items and seeing where you have to go, just keep in mind that G in Target, G63 is the last. When you run out of aisle numbers and you're like, where are the numbers? I ran out at 45. 63, it's the last wall, up against the wall where all of the dairy, the cheese, the fruit juices are, and the beer is all the way up against. And then you get the waters and you get the other sodas all the way on the right. Okay, that last wall. Same thing with the A. You run out of A55. That's the last aisle right there. So the rest of it, A57, 58, that's up against the wall, like where the pharmacy is. So you know that it's in that area. If you get, here's another one. If you get an order that says CS on it, that's customer service. What that is the exchange and return section window. Like on the bottom part, you'll see little trial size things, like not trial size things, but you'll see little things like a mini Pringles can, which drove me crazy the other day. I'm looking in all the chip aisles, I don't see this. I'm seeing CS special instructions. I'm like, what is that? And somebody told me where it was. I was like, wow, that's a new one. I've been here almost 3 years, and that's the first time I've seen that. Also check to see that may be in behind the registers, like those little gums or something, little packs of gum. Some people will order that, and they might be in front of the register. And always look for the picture first. I always look for the picture because I'm very visual. So if somebody wants like a bag of cookies, mini Oreos or something, and I really don't eat that, so I don't know what the hell that's about, I'll look at the picture first and I'll go by the picture. And if I see the picture, the next thing I do is I look at the size of the item. So sometimes on your phone, the picture will make the item appear like it's large size, and it's really like this small. So many times I've seen that. And then you look at the ounces and you'll see like 2.5 ounces. Like, oh, well, that thing's like tiny. So I got to really look for the smaller bottles. Sometimes it could be on the bottom. Sometimes it could be on the top. You know, always go up and down, and always look in the front. And if you don't see it right there and you see an empty little spot and you don't want to say it's not there to the customer, always go all the way in, because sometimes the stuff that you want is at the very end. Some people will move stuff, you know, they'll be searching for something and they'll mix it up, you know, look next to it, see if it hasn't been mixed up either. That's another trick. And lastly, I think it's important that when you have a bundle and one of them is prepay and the other one is not prepay, always go to the line to deal with the one that's not prepaid first. Get that out of the way, because then you're done. It's all packaged for you. They already put it in the bags. Immediately do a tie, which is what I do, is I tie the bags down together so I know that's one bundle. So I already separated. You might even want to bring a marker with you. I do have a marker in my pocket. Depending on how many items I have, I will write the initial of the name of the person that goes to. So if this goes to Wade, that'll be a W. Everything's going to be W. I know that that's Wade's. And then when I go to the prepay, I find the person that, you know, the rep at Target or wherever that has a prepaid scanner. Then they scan the little thing around, you know, and then you can bag your own stuff. They have little areas now in Target. I've only noticed it in 2 stores. Not all of the stores have an area now just for Shipt shoppers, where you go in and it's towards it's kind of facing the Starbucks. So it's at the end of the self-serve. There's a tiny little area there with little bags. And I've noticed that they've gotten rid of the bigger bags, or they're hiding the bigger bags, but they can't get rid of them because I need the bigger bags. People have bigger things to carry, and I'm not going to, lug it. I'm going to have it in those big bags. So ask. If you don't see, ask for the bigger bags. Double up on the vino, on the wine. Double that up on glass. Make sure you double it. Separate your bags when you're putting things together. Don't put the food with the dog food. Don't put the, deodorant next to the baby formula. I separate everything according to what it is. So meats get double bagged, especially chicken. Frozen stuff doesn't necessarily get double bagged, but it will go in with the meat or with milk to keep it cool. And then, other things like deodorant and creams and lotions or whatever, they're going to go with paper towels and toothpaste and things for the house, not food. And insecticides or spray cans or whatever, that's going to go in a totally separate area. So when they open up these bags that I did for them, they're going to see everything is, oh, this is going to go to the kitchen, this is going to go to the bathroom, this is going to go to the baby room. Everything is nice and organized. It's an extra step. Doesn't take that long to do. I like to do it because I move really fast when I'm in the store. I know where everything is in Target. I know most of the Targets that I go to are pretty organized. There's only one that's not, but sometimes they move things around and they just don't. I don't know what's up with that one, but usually I don't find a lot of stuff there. The toy sections are always hard for me. Those are, I think, the hardest areas for me, the toy section. I don't know what's going on there. It's hard to see. But also remember, like if you see something that says, oh, 3 Barbies, you're looking for these 3 giant Barbies. Sometimes they're these tiny little 3 Barbies or these tiny little dolls. I'm looking for the bigger, picture on things. But that's where I get messed up. Or that one section up against the wall in the toy section where you have all the puzzles and the cards and stuff. That might take me forever. But, so that's it. I mean, that's all I wanted to tell you. That's really, is that it? Put it on the midsection. Oh, bundles. Use the bottom cart. Yeah, that's about it. And then always have, don't forget to review me text, which I texted myself to my own phone. So that way I copy and paste it to the end. So you send them the text that you're on your way. You go to their house, right? Please make sure that you read. Oh, this is very important. Please make sure that you read the notes that they leave you. Sometimes they'll say, don't knock, don't ring the bell, baby sleeping, or dogs, you'll wake up the dogs, something. Always make sure you read that. You can't imagine how many times I have read that and said, always say, no worries, I'm like a ninja, which is true. I'm very quiet. I'll go in there, you won't even know I'm there. And they tell me, thank you, because the last guy or the last girl, she just rang the bell and woke everybody up, So I hear that all the time. People don't read the notes. Also read the notes for substitutions. Sometimes it'll be in there, and I've missed this too myself, where it says, customer has already substituted items. This is what they want instead. So you don't have to text them, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. She already sent it. I just missed it. That was my fault. I've done that one time, and then I learned from my mistakes, so I don't do that anymore. And then just drop off the stuff and then send a little text. As soon as you drop off your stuff and you take a picture of everything, you leave it at the front door. If they ask you to come into the house, please say no. I mean, I've been asked inside the house so many times, no. Can you please just set it over here? No. I just say that I don't feel comfortable coming into the house. I'll just leave it right here if it's okay. Unless they're like in a wheelchair. If they're in a wheelchair, that happened to me one time. The guy was in a wheelchair. He was elderly, and he had an actual ramp that went up into his house. So, but then again, he warned me ahead of time. Like, I hope you don't mind, but do you think you can carry them inside the house? That's like was the only exception. Otherwise, I won't go into your house. No. A couple of times I've been asked, can you please go inside the garage, drop it off inside the garage? I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to put it in the garage, but I'm not going to walk into the garage. I'll put it like right there in the side. As soon as I see the door, my hand's there and I'm out of there. I don't trust that. Especially when they say, I'm not home, and then the door goes up by itself. Can you please go inside and put this stuff on top of the washer all the way in the back in the garage no. I'm leaving it right here. I'm not walking into the garage. It's a safety issue. I'm just going to put it in there. I don't even know why they would want me to do that. Anyway, even though no harm intended, because of liability issues. I mean, if I walked into your garage and I tripped and fell, you're going to be hearing from my attorney. Just want you to know. I mean, you don't want that either. You don't want people falling in your house either. So that might not be something you want to do. And lastly, when you leave, that's when you send that little pretext that says, basically mine just says, hey, I forgot what it says. I'm sorry. I have to read it. Hold on, because I can't even think right now. My brain is just foggy. Hi, if you liked my service, please leave a good review. That score counts more than you know, and thank you so much for shopping with Shipt. Simple as that. It's not it's not pushy. It came at a nice time. I leave a little star at the end. So in fact, I put 5 stars at the end. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, 5 stars. Hint, if you get those stars, the higher your stats go, the more orders you get, the better orders you get, the higher paying orders you get. And just remember that. Mine right now is at, whenever this phone, really just decides to freaking do something for me. I mean, really, stats, what is it? It's at 484. It's just good. It's not great. It used to be 490, but somebody gave me 1 star because they were pissed off that I put their water bottles. I'm sure it was them. They were mad that I put their water bottles in the front, 12 cases of water bottles in front of their door when they asked not to do it. But when I texted them and asked them where am I supposed to put it, they didn't respond. And then there was a big sign in front of the door that said, do not knock, do not ring. I'm a day sleeper. Well, then how am I supposed to contact you if you don't want me to wake you up and you leave that note there? I can't, where am I supposed to put it? In the front yard? There was nowhere to put it. It was an open, vacant house. So whatever. Sometimes people will leave nasty reviews for you, and it happens. You can't please everybody all the time. All I can do is do my best, and I'm always friendly with everybody, and I'm very quick. So I'm in, I'm out, I'm done, goodbye. I don't need to sit there and talk to you unless you talk to me. I'm not being rude. I'm just, the people that I know that I talk to, they already know me, so they've got me as their preferred shopper. You do have that. They do make you preferred. When you get that, say yes. Don't decline that, because if they tip you, they're going to keep tipping you because they're asking you to be their personal shopper. Is what they're doing. They're saying, hey, I really like you. I like what you've done for me. Can you be my personal shopper from now on? Sure. As long as you keep tipping me from now on, we'll be good. But I won't go back to the places that don't tip, because especially I give them 1 chance and then I'll go back again if I go again. But if the second time they don't tip, the third they won't see me the third time. They'll get somebody else, and they might be happier with them or they might not be. I don't really care. All I know is what's the point? If I'm going to make $6 a trip to your house and you're asking for 30 items and you're not tipping, then I don't need to go back to your house. I'm not going back to your house. So that's it. Hope that helped. Hope that you wrote everything down. If not, then just play it back. And I am going to start a Patreon page, and my Patreon page is going to be, pretty plain and simple, because I'm doing many things right now. Since I've left my full-time position in November, I am now working full-time for Shipt, and I'm trying to do things on eBay, and I've set it up for eBay. I've been on eBay for over 20 years, but I've never really sold that many things. I mean, it's been a long time since I've sold things on eBay. I just now posted like 129 items, and I think I sold 4 items, all under $20. And what else? Poshmark, I haven't sold anything there. And Whatnot, I'm doing the Whatnot thing now, where you sell live auction. I haven't done it yet. I haven't even set up my show because I don't have any ink in my printer. I have a printer and no ink, so that's the story of my life. I have this, but I don't have that. I get really close, but I can't, I can never do anything that I want to do. So, and then I got a flat yesterday on my way. Did I tell you this? Oh my God, just hear me out I got to tell you this. You got to hear this. I'm driving. I'm about 5 blocks from this customer's house. Okay. I go to make a right turn. I'm not going fast. I'm just going the regular. I think I'm like 35 miles an hour. I go to make a right, and I hear, before I even made a right, I hear a pop, like a weird pop, kind of like I ran something over. And then my car didn't feel right, and it kind of steered me more to the right than I wanted to go. So I tried to straighten it out. When I straightened it out, I heard a pop, and that was my tire. I had hit the curb. I guess it was like a curve, it's hard to explain, but it's, instead of being a regular round curve, it was like a round curve, and then it had a entry, and then it came out to an end. It was weird. It was like this pointy thing. I don't know. Regardless, there were 2 nails in my tire. I waited 45 minutes for AAA. I called Shipt, and I let them know, hey, I got a flat tire. I'm just sitting here waiting for AAA. I'm 5 blocks from the customer. Can you please reach out to them and let them know? And they're like, sure. I just wanted them to know what was going on, and hopefully I could be forgiven, because it was 15 minutes. I was 15 minutes late because I had started, early, and I got it done quick. And after they said that they called the customer, I also texted the customer, and she was so nice. She was like, oh no, don't worry, we just moved here, don't worry about it, please, no worries, please don't worry. And I'm like, I just feel awful. Thank God there weren't perishable stuff. She only ordered like 4 things, and they were like towels, so it was perfect. There was no problem. If it was perishable, I would have had to go back to the store and return the stuff. There's no way I would have delivered, soggy ice cream like that or anything. So there's always a way. Communication is key. I'm really good with communicating, even though I did get 1 star for non-communicating one time, and it was because the person did not respond to me. So the customer's not always right all the time. You just have to be vigilant, and you have to be honest, and you have to contact Shipt and let them know everything. Like, I need to be forgiven for this, or please retract this stat score because it's not correct. That's not right. This didn't happen, and then it'll fix your score. So that's all. That's it. That's all I need to say. Good luck. Be safe. Don't go in anybody's house. Be careful with dogs. Always carry mace with you. I have a mace that I have in my keychain that I carry just in case of dogs. I've gone to houses where dogs have been loose in the street from the neighborhood, and I just don't get out of my car. And or other times I've gone near the house, tried to deliver stuff, and then the dog rushes out and almost gets me. And then they're like, "Oh, sorry about that." Like, yeah, sorry. So I make note of that. And I write that down, You know, I have everything written down. All those screenshots that I take of the orders, by the way, I have it in a little book. So I have like how much they tipped me, how much they spent, and where, you know, their address, so that I know it matches up to the order number, just in case. Because I've noticed that I've called Shipt, and they've asked me, do you remember the address, if you don't remember the order number? So in case I don't get the order number right, at least I have the address. And then I remember the house. Like, do they have a dog? You know, is this the house that that needs a gate code? That's another thing. Does it need a gate code? Does this have stairs or no elevator? Oh my God, yeah, it does. You know what I mean? So that's another reason. So I keep all that in, and then the ones that don't tip me, I just delete. Scratch that right out, and I just put no. Have a whole nother section that has no, not going back. Okay, all right, and that's my dad. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Love you. God bless you. Stay safe out there. And what do we say? We say ciao. This went long, but you know what? It's been a while. I know you miss me, so I love you too.